I've been working on my endless runner game Rollos for over 1.5 years now. Since my first devlog, we've added a lot of things to unlock. We got a bunch of characters, also known as Rollos, 5 different biomes, Rollo variants, and special Rollo variants that you can only win in this Plinko minigame. But a lot of players have already unlocked everything, and the players are getting bored, so I want to add a lot more. And actually, there's something I've been wanting to add since the very beginning, even before the main character Ratkin even existed, and it was only an ugly yellow ball. When I created this ugly yellow ball, I also created this dirt trail behind it. And back then I thought, what if we could customize this and unlock a bunch of cool custom trails, like in Rocket League for example. But I've never taken the time to make it, so now I'm finally gonna add unlockable trails. The first trail I think we need is just a simple rainbow, and it's actually pretty easy to make this. The way my trail system works is not by using particles as you might think, but instead I'm using Unity's built-in trail renderer. I attached this to the player, then added this texture, and then I just made the texture scroll. This means I only have to create an image in order to make a trail. So I started drawing this rainbow, and to spice it up I added some small sparkles to it. I then imported it to the game and it looks pretty great I think. The next trail I made was a confetti trail. I started out by drawing a single confetti, and then I just duplicated a bunch of them. And lastly I gave them different colors. Now in my last devlog I joked about setting Buzzin on fire. But this time I'm not joking. Because I want to make a fire trail. This texture took me so long to get right. I started out by drawing this texture, and yeah, that doesn't look like fire. So I tried using an actual image of fire, and nope, that's not quite it. I then tried this image, and this kind of looks like fire, it just needs more glow. So I maxed up the glow, and I ended up with this, which I think is pretty good. Aside from this, I also created a pink version, because why not? But I think it looks even cooler actually. Before I make more trails, I want to create a shop for them so you can actually buy them. My first idea was to make a simple pop-up window like the biome shop. So I tried making that, but no matter what I tried, it just didn't look good. So instead of a boring pop-up window, I wanted it to be more like the Rollo shop, which takes place within the world itself. My idea is that you go to a Rollo, then when you click trails, the trail shop right behind it. With the shop done, I started producing a bunch of trails you can buy. I started creating a lightning trail, then a cherry blossom trail where I drew this pink sakura flower, duplicated a bunch of them and threw in some nice green leaves. I then made a bubble trail, glitch trail, aurora trail, and many more, and I ended up creating 26 trails. This means there are more trails than Rollos, so I think we need to make some more Rollos. I went to my Discord server where some of you have made some suggestions. One of them was a shark Rollo. So I created this little shark named Smallfin, and I made some variants in different colors. Another popular suggestion was a pigeon Rollo. At first I was like, why not just take Pippin and just make a gray variant? That should look like a pigeon, right? Okay, it does not look like a pigeon. I decided to make a brand new Rollo, and I came up with these 3 designs that I couldn't decide between. So I made a poll on my server, and this one was the clear favorite. For the next Rollo, someone suggested a dog Rollo. We already have a cat, so it only makes sense to add a dog too. So say hello to Barkin. The next Rollo I added was a unicorn named Dreamin', because it's dreaming, I guess. And lastly, I made a skull Rollo in the style of those Mexican sugar skulls. And this is just another original idea that I definitely did not copy from Nintendo. Anyways, I made these 4 colorful variants. But now you might be wondering, where are all these special variants? If you don't know already, in my last devlog I added this mini game where you have the chance to win a variant every day. And if you're lucky, the variant at stake will be an exclusive special variant. I then made a special variant for only the first 5 Rollos. And obviously this isn't enough, so I want to make a special variant for every single Rollo in the game. But first I want to take a look at something I haven't updated in a long time, and that is the biomes. Right now we got palmy plains, frosty fields, desert dunes, sugar shores, and Volcano Valley. Now I always wanted a biome with blue or purple grass, but like there's no real biome with blue grass, so my idea is to create an alien planet type biome. I started out by making the grass purple and gave the stone this blue tint. Now we just need to make these trees look like they're from an alien planet. I wasn't really sure how to do that, but I ended up turning the short tree into some kind of pink flower tree, and I guess this looks pretty alien. If you look at other art of alien planets, there's a lot of mushrooms. So instead of the palm tree, I made this tall bloom mushroom. After that I took the rocks and I turned them into this galaxy / crystal looking rocks. And this is how it looks so far. Now we still need to change up the blinding bush. Here I decided to make even more mushrooms. But instead of the tall bloom mushroom, I modeled this cluster of smaller mushrooms, which you obviously don't want to roll into. And with that we have an alien planet type biome. Now it just needs a name. I asked my friend ChatGPT to come up with a name that reflects this otherworldly lush purple biome, and it came up with the name Farland Flora. Now, as promised, I'm gonna make a special variant for every Rollo. I started out with the pigeon, and pigeons typically sit on these electrical wires. So I took that as an inspiration and made this electrical pigeon. I used the same effect for Wattlin, but in purple instead, giving it this cool plasma look. The next one I made was for the snowman Melton.
Hi, how are you?
To fit the snow theme, I made this sparkly snow globe effect, and I really like this effect, so I reused it for Dreamin', where I turned it into this pink glittery unicorn. The next Rollo is Chicken, and I had no idea what its special variant could look like, but luckily I got sent this suggestion for a radioactive effect that looks pretty cool. I added it to the game, so now if you ever wanted to own a radioactive chicken, now you can. Now the one for the skull Rollo is probably one of my favorites. Here I gave it a glowy neon effect where the drawings light up and change color. And yeah, I made a special variant for the rest of the Rollos too, but I guess you'll just have to download the game and see. Now to something completely different, but which was also highly requested. What I'm talking about is achievements. I added all sorts of achievements that you can unlock. For each of them there are 5 tiers. If we take a look at the high score achievement, for example, here you start out at beginner roller. If you get a high score of 1000, you upgrade to rookie roller. If your high score is 2000, you're a skilled roller, then super roller at 3000, rolling champion at 5000. And lastly, legendary roller at over 10,000. The other achievements include how many Rollos, variants and special variants you own, how many coins you've collected, how many days you've played, and how many times you've revived. And by that I mean how many ads you've watched. Now to wrap it up, I also added a nice extra thing. As someone suggested, I added time of day. So instead of playing in bright daylight, you can now play when it's sunset, and even night if you prefer that. And yeah, that's what I added in the new update. As always, the update is out now on App Store and Google Play, so see you next time.